and we went for a drive, and he said, I love you more than anything, but I want you to be happy. And obviously, I can't make you happy. And so I want you to find someone that can make you happy.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
I I could not have been more shocked.
Real women, real marriage turnarounds. This is the Empowered Wife Podcast. My guest Christy and her husband had a huge wall of tension between them, especially about physical intimacy. But she stumbled on something that most people just don't know. And today, her marriage feels relaxed and fun. She's going to tell us how she did it so you can do it too. Christy, welcome to the Empowered Wife Podcast. I'm so excited you're here.
But thank you for having me, Laura. I am thrilled to be here with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I wanted to hear what attracted you to your husband in the beginning.
Oh, well, it's a fun story. I don't know how many women can say that they met their husband at a tire store buying new tires. I mean, it's pretty romantic if you ask me.
It really is surrounded by all that rubber or whatever tires are made of, I guess. Right? Okay.
Yes. So I was convinced when I met him that he was much older than me because he had a mustache and a full-time job.
Oh, wow.
So
he
yeah,
must
I
have
was
been
a
like
college student.
40. Okay. Yeah.
At least. He's 2 years older than me. That's what's so funny, right? But I was a college student and I was used to broke college boys, right? And when I met Rusty, he was a man. He had like I said, he had a full-time job. I thought he had tons of money, even though I think he was making $13 an hour at the time. But one of our first dates, he took me to a Jimmy Buffett concert and he bought me a t-shirt and a margarita. And you know how expensive those are at a concert.
Those are.
Yeah. So, but he was a man. He was decisive. He was responsible. He was a leader. Just so different than the boys that I was meeting at school. And I could tell that he was serious right away, that he wasn't goofing around with me, that he really wanted to get to know me and quickly was thinking about marriage. So yeah, I was really attracted to his manliness.
Yeah. And he was like a good provider already, even though like just relative to what you were used to, but he was treating you and like buying you extra stuff, like the shirt and the margarita, not totally necessary at the concert, but he wanted to just make you happy, it sounds like. And wow, so I love that. So so he sounds great. So then what started to go wrong? I mean, you guys got married. So then there were some problems. What started to go wrong?
Yeah. Well, we got married and that first year was kind of the teeter-totter of whose way is it going to be, right? Is it going to be his way? Is it going to be my way? What's the compromise? That kind of thing. And obviously we had different ways of looking at things like, is the apartment clean or dirty? Well, I knew it was dirty. He thought it was clean, you know? And so in the beginning, he would do his version of cleaning, right? And then I would go behind him and do it again the right way. And he finally looked me in the eye one day and said, you got to stop that or I'm not going to do anything. He said, what's the point of me doing it if you're just going to do it all over again? He said, you've got to come down with your standard and I'm willing to come up with mine and let's find a place where we can meet in the middle. I was like, okay. So this guy knew how to handle me. Listen, I'm a handful and he knew, and that was the other thing that attracted me to him, right? Is that the other boys that I had dated just kind of catered to me, right? Because I was a strong personality and they just did what I wanted them to keep me happy, I guess. But with Rusty, it was different. He was not going to put up with my shenanigans, right? And so he just told me, don't do that anymore.
I mean, that must have been an ouch though. Like, I mean, cause you're thinking like, I just want to have a clean apartment. So when he said that, I mean, were you offended?
Yes, I mean, I remember lots of times over the years when I've been offended and bothered. But if I give myself some time to think and to process, I usually realize that he's really reasonable in what he's asking. And he's always, willing to pitch in and be a part of things. So it's hard to get too aggravated with him.
Okay. And so, and I also hear part of you really appreciated and kind of enjoyed, how firm he was. Like
Yeah.
he was no, you couldn't just, run over him.
Right. And that helped me to respect him, which is
Yeah.
what made me believe that I was a very respectful wife.
Oh, tell me more
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. I really thought that I was respectful. I have always been kind of an upbeat, positive person. So I thought that I didn't complain. I thought that I was a happy person, a positive person. And when I found you, I found out that I wasn't, that I was
Oh,
actually
no.
disrespectful. And I actually complained quite a bit, which was terrible, but good to know, right? Then I could make a change with it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So, but it sounds like because he kind of wasn't, letting you run over him, you thought, well, I am respectful because he insists that I be respectful. So
Yeah.
therefore I'm respectful. And that kind of met your definition.
Yeah.
So, and were you guys having other kinds of conflicts too, besides like just
Mhm.
the cleanliness of the apartment or who's going to like, and did you stop doing cleaning up after him after he said that? Or did he? Okay.
Yeah, I did. And we did come to kind of a happy medium. And we've been married now, Laura, for 31 years. And I see a lot of places where we met in the middle, and I am a better person because of him and the way he has helped me. And I think he would say the same thing. And that's what's beautiful is that, and your program, of course, has helped me to appreciate our differences rather than see them as a problem. But what started happening with Rusty and I, and I'll tell you, I have chickened out on being on this podcast for 3 years now because I was afraid and embarrassed maybe to share our story. And I really feel like the Lord wants me to be bold and brave and share because I know there's other women out there that are struggling like I was and I don't want them to, right? Because there are answers and there are ways to make change. So that's why I'm here today.
I have chills head to toe. That is so inspiring that you are being so courageous. And yeah, it just makes me, well, I'm excited. I'm so excited to hear your story and that you are being so bold and courageous
Yeah.
to share it today. So, so tell me some more about what the ways that you were struggling.
Yeah. So what started to happen probably only maybe 10 years into the marriage is that I really wanted more physical intimacy than my husband. And it started off small, right? Like, however often we were intimate, I just wanted more, right? And so I didn't know how to get what I wanted or what I needed. So I complained, which I didn't realize at the time I was complaining, right? But, when are we going to be together? Why aren't we being together? What is the problem? And, um, yeah, a lot of complaining. And then after that went on for a while and that didn't get me what I wanted, I went further and I said, you need to go to the doctor. Like something's wrong with you. You must have low testosterone. Something's wrong. Well, I did. I managed to force him. I mean, at that point, I thought that was part of my job as a wife, right? Is to get him to the doctor when he needs to go and get that handled. And he was willing because he does value our marriage and everything. But I don't think it would have been his choice. I don't think he would have gone. So we did that. Well, still no resolution to my satisfaction. I pushed harder. We need to go to a therapist. We need to go to a sex therapist. We need to, these things, which therapy was not helpful.
Yeah.
Um, and I know you've talked about this before, but what happened when we went to therapy is I complained about him for 30 minutes and then he complained about me for 30 minutes and we both went home ticked off. So it was terrible. It was terrible.
It's one of the most expensive ways to control your husband, I think,
Oh my
right?
goodness. And they kept talking to us about communication, and communication was not our problem. In fact, my problem with communication was way too much communication, right? I said everything that came to my mind and I had an opinion about everything. And so I really needed to back off of the communication a little bit. So, um, I was so disrespectful to my husband. And this is, embarrassing to say. I accused him of being gay. I accused him of having affairs lots of times, right? Because the world told me that if my husband isn't having sex with me, he is having sex with someone. They told me
Yeah.
that, and I believed them. I accused him of looking at pornography. He wasn't. He isn't. He doesn't. But the world tells you this is what's happening. There's only a few reasons why he's not. But what was happening, Laura, that I didn't realize is that I was breaking down our intimacy little by little by little to where instead of getting more physical intimacy, I was getting less and less and less and less, right? He was less and less attracted to me. He felt less and less safe with me. He felt, that rebellion that's inside all of us that says, you tell me to do something, I'm not doing it, right? The more I persisted, the more he resisted. So all of those things were going on and I had no idea. I was looking in all the wrong places for the answer to the problem, right? Oh,
Yeah.
it was so
It's so
frustrating.
relatable. It's so frustrating. And I think it's true that like we know that men want sex more than women. And so if he's not wanting it, like that must mean there's something wrong with him. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I can just identify with everything that
Yeah.
you are saying. And then coming, well, what could be the problem? Maybe he's gay. Maybe he's having an affair. Maybe he's looking at porn.
Right.
And then, and really just not, and just being so desperate to find an answer. Like, what
Yeah.
is it? What do we do? How do we fix this?
So
It
desperate.
just sounds, yeah, it's really painful. And especially the part where you're making it worse and you don't know you're making it worse. You're trying
Yeah.
to make it better
Yeah.
is so confusing,
So
and
painful.
heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. And so I was so focused on that aspect of our marriage and what was lacking that I lost sight of everything else. So here's my husband, this wonderful man who loves me in so many different ways. And I was missing out on all of it. I felt so lonely and unloved and, um, I was really in a victim mindset, right? Because I can't be happy unless he does X, Y, and Z, right? I didn't realize that's where I was, but that's exactly where I was. So it all depended on him. When is he going to change? When is he going to do the right thing? This is his problem, not mine. And what could I possibly have to do with it? Right? It just seems
Right.
so obvious. And, but what a terrible place to be where my happiness depends on the actions of another who I have no power to change. And that's what you taught me.
Yeah. But this is such a great point you're making because it feels very real. Like, and even as you're saying it now, I'm like, well, but you did want to have that physical intimacy,
Mhm.
and you were trying to get it back. You were doing everything you could think of to get it back,
Yeah.
and thinking about the alternative is like, what are you just not going to have physical intimacy or not have much like for the rest of your life? Like, it sounds horrible. It sounds
Right.
like that's not a good option either. So,
Right.
like like you were kind of trapped. It sounds like a trap.
That's how I felt. And what I made it mean, Laura, is really important too. I made it mean that I wasn't pretty, that my body wasn't attractive, I wasn't desirable. he doesn't love me. I mean, it meant so much to me, but I made it mean those things. Those things weren't true. But I tell people that, in this world, every garden that we have is going to have weeds in it, right? And we can go out there and pick the weed and it's going to pop right back up, right? So there's always going to be weeds and there's always going to be flowers. And what I was doing is just staring at the weeds and just consumed with the weeds. I can't believe I have these weeds, right? And I couldn't enjoy my flowers at all. And when I
Oh,
found you, I started to say, you know what? There's always going to be some weeds, but wow, look at these flowers. Look at these flowers I have. And I
that's a,
started to receive love from my husband in all the ways he was offering it, rather than just being focused on that one place where I wasn't getting it. Right. So he was loving me in lots of little ways that I was either ignoring or totally missing. They were just going right over my head. Right. Because it wasn't what I had in mind.
yeah. And so there'd been this pattern of you trying to control him.
Yes.
I mean, it's just naturally, right? Because you were trying to get what you wanted,
Yeah.
with making him go to the doctors and to the therapist, and and telling him, that he should be paying more attention to your,
Yeah.
creating more opportunities for physical intimacy, and so and then you decided you were going to start focusing on those flowers
Mm.
instead. So, well, take us back a little bit too. So, what was there a moment like right before, like, was there a really low moment in your marriage when
Mm.
you just thought, we can't go on like this?
Oh, Laura, it was so bad. So it would, I would hold my tongue for as long as I could, and then I would blow up. And so maybe it was once every 2 months or so, right? And so this one night I blew up. We never have sex. What is going on? When are you going to fix this? Blah, 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 right? Just this horrible, it's one of those things where you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I acted that way. I did that. And my husband said, I'm going to leave. And I don't know what he said. I'm going to think about this or something like that. And he left and he went to a hotel room. And this is so embarrassing to say. I honestly felt so happy. I was like, good. He is going to go and he is going to think about all that he's done wrong and he is going to get his stuff together.
Yeah. So this feels
Well,
like a breakthrough. Well, finally, he's like hearing me,
yeah,
like, and he's taking me seriously. Okay.
yeah. Oh, Laura, he wasn't. He wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking about leaving me. And when he came back, we went out in the car and we went for a drive. And he said, I'm gonna, I'm gonna leave you. And I love you more than anything, but I want you to be happy. And obviously, I can't make you happy. And so I want you to find someone that can make you happy.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
I I could not have been more shocked. I could not have been more shocked. I just was convinced that he was going to figure out how to fix his problem. And he comes back and says he's tired of being beat up by me. He's tired of feeling like a failure. And he loves me so much that he's willing to let me go. Like, fine.
Wow.
I, I, so I went into panic, right? I just went into panic. No, 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 no. This is not what I want. And after that is when I found you. I found you had your 5-day challenge on Facebook, and I found it. I had read so many marriage books. Laura had read I'm a reader. I'm a self improver, right? I was looking for answers all the time, but the world just kept telling me that it was all his fault and that he was the problem. So I felt powerless to do anything. But when I found you, I found you talked about respect and you talked about relinquishing control and you talked about self-care and and it made sense. And I saw lots of places outside of this PI issue over here. I saw lots of places where I could make changes and improve. And I thought maybe, just maybe, if I fix these things over here, something will happen here. And so I began to practice the skills. And I began to see changes in my husband right away. I mean, it was very quick,
Like,
but not
like
in
what?
the bedroom. Okay. So
Okay.
the relationship, I mean, and like I said, we were happy, but there's always, improvement. And so I was seeing changes. And after a couple of weeks, I thought, okay, this is working, but it's not getting to the issue I want it to get to. So I did some digging around online. I found out that you have a coaching organization, and I reached out for help. Well, when Kathy Murray told me the price of coaching, right? And I was like, she must be crazy. So we hang up the phone. But you know what, Laura? I knew in my heart that this was the answer. And so as I thought about it in the days following, I thought, Christy, what is your marriage worth? Right? This is the answer. Pay whatever it takes to get this transformation, to get this breakthrough. And so I went to my husband, like he recommended, and I told him I have found a program I think is going to help me become a more respectful wife. And he couldn't get his wallet out fast enough, honey. I mean, he was like, who do we pay? Where do we sign up? I said, wow, I must have been worse than I thought.
So you're like, oh, good, I can buy. But wait a minute. He sort of acted like I wasn't respectful before.
I know. What's that all about? You mean I have a part in this? What are you talking about?
I just relate to like apologizing for being disrespectful and thinking he's going to say, "Oh no, you weren't," and him being like, "Yeah, thank you." I was like, "Oh." So okay, so you realize that there's something here for you, and you have some hope, and then you decide to make like a pretty big investment in this.
Yeah.
What things had you been doing differently? Like you said that you did a few things differently. You could see results right away. Like tell us a little bit about that, because you've got a pretty big transformation here. So I want to just make sure we get, a lot of women are listening like, well, how do you do this? How do you stop controlling your husband? And how do you restore these things that, find those flowers again?
Yeah. And you know what? There's so many little things that add up to big things. And so I would not have said that I was controlling. I didn't even know that the way I was responding about the sex thing was controlling. And I didn't see it as complaining. It was. But little things like, you taught me how to express a desire in a way that inspires. So what had been happening at my house is that on the weekends, we would take my car to take the kids to soccer, baseball, whatever was going on, and to church and all that. And when we would come home from church, most times my car was a wreck. There's water bottles and bar wrappers and fast food things and all of that business. And I like my car to be neat. So I would give a motivational speech on the way home from church that sounded something like, you guys need to get all this junk out of my car, right? And I got to tell you, Laura, shockingly, no one was motivated. Okay. Everybody just scattered, and it was like, mom's in a mood. Right. And so it never got me what I wanted. And I didn't even realize that was complaining. Right. But you taught me to express a desire in a way that inspires. So I said to we're coming home from church, and I said, I would love a clean car. And my husband said, I'll take it right when we get home to get cleaned. It's that easy? This stuff is magic. So he did, Laura, but that's not the end of the story. I messed up some more after that. So he took the car to get it cleaned. What a treat. I was so thrilled. But he comes home. And so I rush out to the garage because I'm going to show up with gratitude like you taught me, right? And so I go out and I open up the passenger door, and I'm getting ready to gush, but there's still some stuff in the floor. So I pick it out. And then there's still some like marks on the side. I'm in there like this. And I look up, and my husband is looking at me like, are you serious right now? And I
Oh.
realized, Laura, that what he was saying was true, that I wasn't pleasable, that was complaining, picking the stuff and rubbing this, that was complaining. I thought, well, yeah, but I'm complaining against the workers at the car wash. No, I was negating the gift that he had given me, right? The love gift that he had given me. I said what would make me happy to have a clean car, and he did it. And I didn't show up appreciative. So, buddy, I closed that door. I said, that looks awesome. Thank you so much. And I learned such a valuable lesson that day that I wanted to be pleasable, and I wanted to show up with gratitude and appreciate what a wonderful husband that I have.
Wow. So this is goes back to your weeds analogy again. The
Mm-hmm.
weeds and the flowers. You ran out, saw the weeds,
Yeah.
and he saw you seeing the weeds instead of
Mm-hmm.
smelling the roses. And I love that you caught yourself so quick, and then gosh, with enthusiasm, it sounds like right at that point.
Yeah.
So he got to be your hero still. It sounds like
Yes. And
after
that's one of the things that I love about your program is that it raises our awareness, right? Oh, that's complaining. And then the next time I go to complain, that you're getting ready to complain, and I realize it. And you not only help me to realize it, but you give me an alternative. No, why don't you express a desire instead? Oh, okay. I have an option now. I don't have to choose the old way. I can choose the new way. And the new way takes me toward my vision of the kind of marriage I want to build, right? I want to create.
and you become like you're powerful now. You can create that vision, the one that you had, instead of just
Yes.
waiting for him to change.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't have to wait for him to do anything. I can have 100% happiness all by myself and then let him be the icing on my cake. Isn't that wonderful?
It's pretty wonderful. I
Yeah,
guess what comes up for me though is like, well, does that mean you just have to accept, like,
right.
like your car wasn't really, I mean, there were still spots on it. You had to like lick them off,
Yeah.
right? So does that mean you just have to accept that
Yeah.
things are never going to be quite the way you wanted them to be?
Gosh, I don't think so. I think that first of all, of course I took a wipe out there, honey. The next time I was in the car by myself and he wasn't around, I did the extra cleanup. Don't you worry. I did. Right. But, but it's disrespectful for me to do that in front of him as if what he did wasn't good enough. So now I know, like, let me just be appreciative in that moment. But I don't think that we have to accept less because of this, but I I also don't have to demand like everything the way I was in the bad old days, right? So some things I let it go now. Some things that he might say, oh, listen, we were at the airport not too long ago, and I said something to the person behind the desk, and they kind of looked at me, and my husband goes, 31 years, and he rolled his eyes like I've been a pain in the neck for 31 years, right?
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah.
Well, I just busted out laughing. And I was like, yeah, tell me about it or whatever I said, but just use humor because another thing that you've taught me, number one, I want to expect the best out of my husband, right? He loves me, Laura. He adores me. He did not mean for that to be a hurtful thing. He was being funny with a stranger, right?
He's
And
playing.
so I can
Yeah.
change that tape in my head that says, oh, aren't you offended? No, I'm not offended. He's just goofing off. He's just being silly, you know? So I don't get hurt and offended like I used to, because the bottom line is he loves me and adores me. And I'm always watching for evidence of that, of his love and adoration. Everything he does for me now, I notice and it's like recorded. You know how, because men will say sometimes like that we record the bad stuff for use later. Well, now I record the good stuff. It's like, oh, he filled up my tank with gas. He loves me, right? He did
Oh,
the dishes in the sink. He loves me. I receive everything as like this gift of love. And it doesn't have to be the way I want it to be because I want to. love and accept him today, right where he is, right as he is. Because, I mean, that's how I mean, isn't that what we all want, right? He gets to be the expert on his life and do what feels and seems right for him. And I get to do what's best for me that seems and feels right to me. And we're a pretty good team like that.
Yeah. And he loves and adores you, which is a pretty
Yeah.
cool thing that not everybody has, right? It sounds like that's really become more prominent in your mind, and it is something you treasure
Yeah.
that was maybe escaping you before in a way. So, okay. So now you get a coach. Like, so you were doing some things, but now you get a coach and you feel like this is really going to be your answer. So what did you start doing differently then that
Hmm.
maybe you hadn't been doing?
Yeah. I couldn't figure out how the skills that I was using outside of the bedroom were going to impact what was happening or not happening inside the bedroom. And I'll tell you what I have learned over these 3 years of working with you and being in the community and everything is that it's all intertwined, right? And what happens in the bedroom or doesn't happen is reflective so many times of what's happening outside the bedroom. And yeah, and they blend and mix. So I began to be more respectful. And the reason I could do that is because I could finally recognize what I was doing that was disrespectful. And one of the things I was doing that was disrespectful is I was very helpful and I like to teach, right? So I homeschooled all four of my kids. And it's really easy to take that teacher role from the kids and then start throwing it onto my husband as well. And, the teacher corrects bad behavior and corrects wrong answers and things like that. So some of that was leaking in. And I mean, I'm a delegator. I'm like, you go do this, you go do this, you go do this. And my husband would walk in the door and I would just add him right in there and you go do that. And it was very disrespectful. I thought I was just running the show, right? But they call me drill sergeant. And I've let go of that title now. I don't want to be that drill sergeant anymore. I really love it that I'm able now to trust my husband to do the right thing and make the right decisions and handle things properly. So, but disrespectful wise, one of the things that stands out for me is my husband runs a roofing business, right? And so he would talk to me about work. And girl, I mean, you would have thought that I've run 5 roofing businesses. I had opinions about everything. I had advice. I had teaching. I had corrections. I had all of it. And he stopped talking to me a lot about it. And, we talk to women all the time that are saying, I wish my husband would open up to me. Well, I didn't realize that I was shutting that down because I wasn't a safe place to talk. If he said this, I would say, well, why'd you do it like that? I mean, why didn't you blah, blah, blah? Or you could have said da, da, da. I always had an idea or thought I was always tweaking and I was always changing and having an opinion. And you taught me to say, I hear you and just
Um,
listen. And he felt so much more comfortable to just talk, 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 talk. And I let go of that feeling like I have to contribute. I have to have an opinion. I have to have a thought. I have to solve the problem. All of that stuff I threw out the window and I just started listening. And then I started adding in the respect on top of it. Like, oh, I know you're going to figure this out. Like, you've been doing this for 20 years. You're really good at this. You always come up with the best solutions. Like, I'm not worried about this at all. And oh my goodness, Laura, he is so much more successful today than he was 3 years ago. I mean, he's always done great, but I see a new confidence. I see a new leadership in him. I see him trusting his instincts more, right? Because I'm behind him going, you got this. You can do this, right? You're smart. You're capable. It's so fun. And guess what? When I show up like that for him, he mirrors that and shows up like that for me. He tells me all the time now how proud he is of me, how happy he is about how things are going with my coaching business. He is so supportive, and he doesn't even know he's doing the skills.
It's, it's just contagious. You say things and he mirrors it back to you. Oh, I love that. I love hearing that you could see the confidence on him and he's more successful now. But what about like when he was sharing stuff from work and you would think to yourself, like, oh, I know what he should do right now. Like if you had an
Mm-hmm.
idea or an
Mm-hmm.
opinion, about that, like, what did you do with that?
Well, I just really let myself off the hook to think that he needed it, number one. But guess what? Number two, when I stopped sharing everything, he started asking me. And he would say, "What do you think? What do you think I should do? You're really good at this. What's your idea?" And it's really nice to be asked, right? Instead of just offering all the time. And so then I was able to give a piece if I had something, and to say, but I don't know if that fits for you, right? Like, still leaving it open that he's the expert. He's the roofing man. I'm not the roofing man. And he knows his people, his employees, his salespeople, all that kind of stuff. But here's a thought that I have, and drop the expectations, right? No
I love
expectation
that.
of what you're going to do with it.
That's a nuance that I just
Mm,
love hearing. Like, so you weren't just a mute, just going, you
mm-mm,
got this, right? Like, and he might
mm-mm,
even say, what do you think?
mm-mm.
Which means there was a lot more emotional safety in those conversations. And then you could say what you thought but not be attached that he's got to do this.
Yeah.
What? Get,
What
okay. So
freedom, Laura, what freedom there is in that.
yeah. And, I imagine intimacy too in these conversations.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. I got to tell you what he said to me. I think it's the funniest thing he's ever said. And I tell people this all the time. I don't know, a while after I started coaching, he said to me, since you started working with Laura Doyle, I think you're 30% happier. 30%? Really? Like, how does
Not
one measure
31.
that? But But the point of the statement is that this isn't just about my marriage, right? My marriage, has grown and blossomed and improved in so many ways. But other relationships in my life are better. And I use the skills in all of my relationships, but I am a happier woman. I mean, and what's that worth, right? Like, just overall, I am a really happy woman. But I think part of it is the gratitude, right? I find gratitude everywhere I look. I find evidence that my husband is brilliant and he adores me. I find, I use spouse fulfilling prophecies. I use those with my kids, with other people, to bring out the best in them and speak life into them. And I believe the best about the people around me. I mean, how can you not be 30% happier with those kind of skills in your pocket, right?
I mean, you might even be 35% happier just
It,
from what you're sharing right now.
it
It's
could be.
possible.
It's growing every day, Laura. It really is. It's growing.
Oh, that must have made you feel so good. And this is what he said the night that he was going to leave is I can't make you happy.
Yeah.
And for him to say you're 30% happier, it is a
Yeah.
big acknowledgement of the progress that you've made and the way that you've grown.
Yeah.
So it must have felt really good to hear him
Yeah.
say
And
that.
there's no pressure on him. That 30% didn't come because of changes that he made. It all happened right here, right? So there's no pressure. Like, you've taught me to take 100% responsibility for my happiness, and then let him be the icing on my cake. And he is. So I feel lighter, right? Because I'm not trying to control the whole world. And he feels lighter because he's not responsible for my mood and making me happy. I do that now. So
Yeah.
he enjoys me more, right?
I mean, awesome. It's amazing. That's fantastic. That's a big transformation. I love hearing about that. So And was there a particular moment when you thought to yourself, okay, this is really working. Like this, my marriage is different now. Like this proves it.
Yeah. Well, I got this diamond necklace I got for Christmas, pretty quick after I started practicing the skills. And, one of the things that I had been unknowingly doing was really discouraging gift giving, right? Because I'm this super practical woman who's very budget conscious and, right, like, oh, the money could be spent in all these different ways. And my husband is a very generous, like, giver and things. And so you taught me to bring manners back into the relationship. And that's really sad because Laura, I felt like this is my husband. I can say anything to him. I can be totally open with him. I don't have to, you know, do the normal like manners type stuff. So he would buy me something and I would tell him if I didn't like it, or I would return it, or I would say, that costs too much money, or whatever it was, because I thought I was being practical. I thought I was valuing, being smart with our money and different things like that. So when he bought this and gave it to me out of the clear blue, right? Like I wasn't asking for jewelry or anything like that. And I was able to just receive it graciously and really enjoy that this is what he wanted me to have and to wear. It just felt amazing. And I knew then that we were in a new spot, right? We were in a new place.
Wow. Was it hard to receive a diamond necklace? Like that might have been outside of the budget.
It was for sure a stretch for me. But because of what I was learning through the skills and through getting coached and everything like that, I knew what my job was, to receive it graciously. And receiving it graciously means to feel it, right? To feel the love and the thought and the why that he wanted me to have this, and to really receive that. And it just felt wonderful. I didn't know how to do that before. He bought me a purse also at some point along this journey. He bought me a purse, and Laura, it still had the tag on it, and it was from Coach. And the price tag was, it was so scary. It was so scary. I couldn't take it. Right.
Too
And
much.
I was like, I just want to go over to Target and get me a little $25 bag. Right. But he bought this one and I was like, okay, I'm going to receive it graciously. And it wasn't one that I would have gone into the store and picked out. Right. So I'm gearing myself up. Thank you so much. And I'm showing the gratitude and everything, but I'm still feeling kind of, well, I started carrying it. I got so many compliments, right? And it made me feel so good because I was like, oh, I wouldn't have picked this, but it is so beautiful and everybody loves it. And I feel really good to be able to say, my husband bought this for me. And so it was such a win in that way. And you know what happened? A couple of days later, I heard him. I don't know if he said it to me or to somebody else, but basically that the purse had been on sale for like 75% off, whatever the tag was. So then I was like, oh, yay, I feel even better now. So but if I would have complained or been yucky about that, and he would have been like, I got it on sale anyway. You know what I mean? So just not to make those assumptions and things like that, and just to receive it. And I think you said in the book, like, what a chance to receive something that you wouldn't pick out. Like that's the whole point of the gift. And I found that out. I got so many more compliments than a dumb, $30 Target bag, right? And I felt special and loved.
It sounds like there was, like you felt more confident, like that your confidence came up from this experience of just receiving what you thought was an exorbitantly priced purse, and just you becoming the Christy that could wear that purse around and then receive those compliments too from people. And then being able to say, my husband got it for me was also, there was like some personal growth in it for you. Is that right?
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
I love that story. And so romantic. I mean, how did he respond to you receiving that necklace and that purse so well? Like, how did that change your marriage?
He Well, he would say, boy, that was the best money we ever spent. When we talked about coaching, that was the best money we ever spent. And that meant a lot to me because I wasn't used to spending money on myself like that. But I had to change my thinking on that, right? I didn't spend money on me. I invested in our whole family, really. And I, this, our family has grown and changed, and maybe the whole family's 30% happier, Laura. Okay. Right. Because when I learned to relinquish control, my kids are older now, 25, 21, 19, 16. I learned how to relinquish control of them too. And I'm a better mother of adult children. I'm a better mother-in-law to my son-in-law and things like that because I know how to trust people now. I know how to let them make decisions that are right for them from their paper and that it doesn't concern me, right? That they get to do what they want and I can love them and accept them. And I mean, the changes are far reaching.
Like what? Tell me about with your kids. Like, how do you treat them differently?
Mm-hmm. Well, my daughter, I said to her, like, oh, Carly, don't worry about it. I know you always make the right decision. She goes, I hate it when you do that. And I go, what? And she goes, it's just, I have to do the right thing now.
So it's like, isn't that every mother's dream that you would find the words that make your daughter want to do the right thing?
Yes. Every time.
And it's so cute, right? And it's actually, it sounds like it's shaping her in a way too. Like her development is probably different than it would have been if you would have told her what to do. And then she could just rebel against that maybe, or
that's my tendency anyway. I go against, and I think there's a natural part in all of us, and so, now I know how to, express my desires in ways that inspire even with the kids. And, my oldest daughter, Morgan, I'll say, oh, whatever you think. And she'll go, don't you use those skills on me. And I'm not even thinking it. That wasn't my intention at all, but they just become more and more a part of me, right? They just come out more and more. Because when women first start the program, they find it awkward and and they mess up and things like that. And I go, it's like you're learning a new language and you're going to fall back into the old way, but you keep practicing and eventually it becomes more natural. And that's where I'm landing now as I keep seeing it and I go, oh, I did it. Like I didn't even have to really try that hard. I did the right thing. I did the skilled thing in that situation. And it feels so good. It feels so good.
It feels natural now. It just comes, it's like in your cells and it just comes out of you.
Yeah.
So, but there was a time when it wasn't like that, right? It was a time when you just kind of had to really focus on, okay, how am I going to respond in this situation? Or how am I going to, and how did you get yourself to change that response? Like, wasn't that hard?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I'm just bearing it all today. Are you ready for this? I don't know if I apologized for the first 25 years of our marriage. It's quite possible that I never did. Okay. I was on a streak. I was not good at apologizing. And mostly I just thought I was right all the time. But you taught me how to apologize. And you encouraged me to do it, to be accountable for my actions and for my words and for my attitude and for my face, right? I got in a lot of trouble just with this face. Like, he would say, why are you looking at me like that? And I would say, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, sorry. So I really had to work on my face, but I learned how to apologize and I began to see it as like a superpower that I could do that. And I began to do it every chance I got so that I could build up the muscle and get strong in it. Right. So I messed up all the time, but I was like, oh, good. This gives me a chance to apologize so that it won't be so awkward for me and it won't be so difficult. So I grew in humility, which I needed. And now that I can apologize, I don't have to be afraid anymore, right? That I'm going to mess up, because I'm going to mess up, but it's okay because I know how to clean it up and apologize. And I know how to get back on the right foot. And so there's that freedom of knowing that, yeah, I'm not always going to do everything right. I'm a mere mortal woman, but I know how to clean it up and get back on the right track. And I love that feeling. I love it.
Wow. What did you apologize to your husband about for, what kinds of apologies have you made to him?
Yeah. A lot of things when I was controlling, like, you need to turn here. And then I'd be like, oh, shoot. I say, I apologize for being disrespectful when I told you where to turn. You know how to drive, and not another word, right? Because he would look at me. And sometimes if I did it more than once, he would say, do you want to drive? And I would be like, no. But I really wanted to model it for my kids, right? I really wanted them to see that I was going to be, respectful. And I can be a smart aleck sometimes. I can, just smart off or boss him or tell him like, we need to blah, blah, blah. And his least favorite words in the language, we need to. Like, don't tell me what we need to do. You might need to.
He calls you on that. This is like what you said early
Yeah.
on. He calls you on things. He doesn't let you get away with anything. So
And I'm
we need
thankful.
to is a red flag for him, gets you in trouble with him.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so good. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great, what a great awareness. Cause I think
Yeah.
I don't just flies out of my mouth sometimes. We need to, do
Yeah.
this. And, my husband doesn't respond well to it either, but it took me a long time to realize
Yeah.
what I meant was I would love to. It's we
Yes.
need to. So,
Yes. Can I
yeah.
tell you something else that's really different for me? In the bad old days, a bad mood would come on, right? I would start to think, all these people are getting on my nerves, right? And these people could be my husband, my kids, whatever. They're getting on my nerves. And I always just thought it's their fault. And there's nothing I can do. Just you
Yeah.
get in a bad mood and it just happens, But after I learned the skills, I would think everybody's getting on my nerves. And then I would think, maybe it's me. And I would get out my self-care list, right? And I look down it and I go, oh, you know what I would like to do right now? I would like to go for a walk and listen to a podcast. I would like to go read a chapter in my fun book. I would like to call one of my friends. And I realized that I get to choose what kind of mood I want to be in. And I don't have to do all those dirty dishes that are sitting in the sink. They're going to be there an hour from now and probably a day from now, right? And so I can ask myself, how do I feel? What do I want? And I can take care of me. And guess what? My family would much rather come home to a happy mom and a filthy kitchen. They don't care about the kid. They really don't care, but they do care about what kind of mood I'm in. And so I'm not going to allow a bad mood to just overtake me anymore. I'm going to handle it. And I know how.
Wow. That sounds like another superpower.
Yeah. Who knew? Who knew? Nobody told me that. Right?
No, no. And you probably thought, like I did, that really, if you were a good wife, it meant that kitchen was clean. You didn't leave it all,
Yes.
healthy. That was the most
Yes.
important thing is no
Yeah.
matter how you felt, you should just power through and clean your house.
I know.
Don't
Isn't that
clean the kitchen.
silly? And I used to power through with my martyr cape on and just work until I was dead dog, overwhelmed, tired. And guess what I was thinking the whole entire time? I can't believe he's sitting on that couch doing nothing with all this work that needs to be done. Right? It made me miserable in my marriage and miserable personally and why. And he would be sitting over there, Laura, patting the couch going, why don't you come sit down and relax with me for a little
Oh.
while? And I can't relax. There's a lot that needs to be done. And it's like, oh man.
So relatable. And this was like, I love that example. It was like him being the spiritual leader of your home in a way, right? Like he's saying, it's time to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Come sit with me. And you were like, no, I got to power through. And it's so relatable. I think we've all done it.
Yeah.
But not anymore. Now
Right.
your happiness comes before.
Yeah.
You might go sit on the couch next to him now instead of doing
Yeah.
it.
And enjoy the fact when he would say that to me before, I resented it. What do you mean, come
Oh,
sit on the couch with you? Right? I mean, can't you see that there's work that needs to be done? So it gave me a bad. Now, when he says it, I go, oh, he loves me. He adores me. He wants to be close to me. I'm so magnetic. Like, like this is all good things. Yeah, I'm coming to sit
yeah.
down. You betcha. Oh, yes.
Right over.
And you know what, Laura? The thing that I want to say is that my original problem, my lack of PI, is not 100% of what I would want it to be today, even. Okay, but it's not the way I define my marriage anymore either. Right? Like I have a beautiful, wonderful marriage, and I'm working on, more and more physical intimacy. And that's okay. Who doesn't have an area in their marriage or in their personal life or in their business, whatever, that we're working on? That's okay. It's
Part of being
okay.
alive.
There's no
Yeah.
perfection in this life, right? So I guess that's what I want to say is that, but everything else is so much better that it's good. It's really, really good.
Yeah. So what is it like now? Like, tell me about what is your marriage like now?
Yeah, it's really fun. We've always joked around a lot, but humor is definitely our go-to. And I always say, if he wasn't able to make me laugh, I don't know how we would make it 31 years because he, even when I'm like, "Ugh," when I get tied up in a knot, he can still make me laugh in the midst of that. And my kids will say, Mom, it's not that funny. Like, and I go, oh, it's really funny. And it's the same junk that I've been laughing at for 30 years, right? But we laugh a lot. We enjoy each other a lot. We really, push each other in our businesses, right? We both have these entrepreneurial spirits. And so we're constantly like cheering each other on. We love to travel. And now that I'm not a control freak, he plans all of our travel and I just go along for a good time. So my friends will ask me, where are you guys going this weekend? And I go, I don't know. They go, what do you mean you don't know? I go, well, I don't know. It's someplace tropical, but I can't remember, because he puts it all together. And I just go and enjoy myself. Like it's what he takes so much more initiative than he did back then when I picked everything apart, right? Now he has freedom and he knows that I'm going to say, this is awesome. Thank you.
That
Instead
is
of,
great.
the other. So yeah, we just, and I trust him so much more. He and my son went out and bought a car today. Cause my son is getting his full license. And in the past, oh, I would have had to been in the middle of that to find out about the money and did we get the best deal and all that kind of stuff. No, I'm not going to worry a bit about that. He can handle that and he will do what is good. And if it's not good, then he'll figure that out too. Isn't that great?
Oh, wow. That was amazing. Cause I was just going to say, well, what if he makes a bad deal or what if he gets ripped off and you didn't prevent it?
Yeah.
But then you just put that little tag on the end, like, yeah. And if it's not good, he'll figure it out. He'll know what to do. Yeah. So a lot of trust there. And has the physical intimacy improved at all?
Yes. Yes, it really has. And yeah, I'm not demanding anymore. I'm appreciative and I'm open and I'm full of gratitude and um I just enjoy him, I just enjoy him. And um, yeah, there's lots of creativity and there's lots of intimacy and yeah, it's really, really good.
So it sounds like a totally different environment in the bedroom, like in your
Yeah,
home in general, with your kids.
yeah.
And that guy that left to go to a hotel room and was thinking about leaving because he couldn't make you happy. Sounds like he knows he can make you happy now.
He's very successful in that department now. And you said that men feel successful when their wife is happy. And it's so true. No matter what I was unhappy about, it hurt him, right? Even if it was right, the guys at the car place who didn't clean the car so well, right? Now I'm happy. And so he feels successful all the time. And it frees him up, right, to go as his best self into the business and really soar there. I mean, it is really true that our husbands, they make more money, they're more successful when we are that respectful, loving, accepting, pleasable wife.
Wow. Amazing. Well, congratulations on becoming such a happy, pleasable wife. It sounds like it's an incredible transformation.
Yeah.
And I can imagine your husband absolutely loves it. Sounds like he sees it. He acknowledges it that you're 30% happier and, and that it's touched your whole family. What do you think, you would give as a tip to somebody who is where you were,
Mhm.
where maybe the physical intimacy is
Mhm.
really lacking and she thinks she's just going to have to suffer that
Yeah.
way for the rest of her life. And that, and it's even, and then there's these blow ups and tension about it
Mhm.
where and he even feels like maybe I'll leave because I can't make you happy. Like,
Mhm.
and, and she's where you were and she wants what you have now where he buys her diamond necklaces and coach purses and, just wants to make her happy and, that there's so much play and laughter and connection. What's your tip
Yeah.
for her? What should she do?
Yeah, well, she should get the book, The Empowered Wife by Laura Doyle, my favorite author. She should get the book and be willing to think, what part might I play in all of this? Does my husband have flaws and faults? Well, sure, of course he does, right? Don't we all? But what is my part? And what could I do differently? What could I tweak? How could I show up differently to create this marriage that I'm longing for, right? There's always a piece for us. And when we do our piece, it feels so empowering rather than just sitting around waiting for him to change, which was so miserable. So, yeah, I would encourage her to get the book and just be willing to think, not that it's all your fault. You don't have to think that, but just what part can I play in the correction and in the healing and in the growth?
Yeah, I love that. You do sound so empowered, Christy. And
Mm.
it's exciting to think about you being able to have all that influence on your relationship and how you created it the way you want it now. The
Yeah.
marriage that it sounds like a lot of parts of it are just dreamy.
Yeah.
So I love that. What would you say if you could go back in time and talk to Christy and tell her what you know now?
Mm. Yeah, I would say um, the pressure is making everything worse. You gotta let go of the pressure and the demands. Um, this is not getting you where you want to go. You've got to soften up. You've got to change your focus. Look at all the beautiful things. Stop staring at the problem. Look at the beautiful things that he's offering and look at the beautiful man that he is. I mean, right. You don't have to look far on television or in the news or one of your best girlfriends to find that women have really difficult relationships and they have husbands who are not wonderful and kind. And so I want to make sure and be thankful for the man that I do have.
Well, you are just oozing with gratitude for
Mm.
him. He sounds like an amazing man. I get such a good impression.
Yeah.
And I just want to congratulate you for making that transformation. That's not easy. It's such a big accomplishment. Christy, you won the Best Wife Award.
Hey, finally.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Wow.
much.
For being
Thank
so committed and dedicated
you.
and brave, finding that humility to
Mm,
apologize,
mm,
you know, figuring out something to do besides just complaining. That that is a big deal, right? Especially when you think
yeah.
I've done nothing wrong, it's all him.
Yeah.
It's just the biggest accomplishment. So well done.
Thank you so much, Laura. I want to say thank you to you. Your book has changed my life, right? Not just my marriage, but my life and my family. And I know that my kids will do marriage differently because of what they've learned through this. And now I'm able to be a coach and share your skills with so many other women and help them to see the light. It's such an honor.
And Christy, you're such a powerful coach. So congratulations on that too, right? How
Mm,
exciting to be in a position to really be able to help another woman through something that you've done yourself. So
I knew
so
from the very first call, the very first coaching call I had, I said, I got to do what this chick is doing. This is gold right here. This is gold, right?
and now you do. Now you do. So
Yeah.
you're living your dream, and it's helping other women's dreams
Amen.
come true. And it's just so exciting to see all that you've become and all that you've done. So I'm so glad we found each other and we get to go
Yeah.
on this journey together.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your whole story with us so personally and making us laugh and relate to you. It's just been a joy. If you want all the tips, tricks, and traps about how to use a spouse fulfilling prophecy in your situation, you can get that in my group coaching program. So for more on that, get my free Adored Wife Roadmap and the link below this video. Now, this takes some courage to do, but if you're feeling brave, you can do it tonight. So are you ready to try a spouse fulfilling prophecy? Okay, then go, go, go. For more of the proven secrets on how to make your marriage playful and passionate without his conscious effort, check this out.